as you begin to wonder how exactly beliefs, once carved from desperation, can begin melting into power. You might just start to notice, some part of you already knows, what it's like to have failed before, and kept going. Because isn't it true, even in the deepest darkness, the eyes adjust, even in chaos breath returns, and now, as you listen, between the words and around them, you can let go of knowing how it all happens, because all learning happens outside of awareness, and the mind that thinks it needs to know can rest now. What if desperation wasn't the end, but the beginning of power disguised as panic? A pressure that doesn't destroy, but refines. Like coal becoming diamond, not in comfort, but in compression. And isn't it interesting how desperate action, once seen as weakness, can now shimmer with the glow of urgency-driven genius? The kind that moves mountains, or builds wings mid-fall. Have you ever noticed the most desperate people in history? They're often the ones who changed it. Because when the old maps burned, they didn't wait for new ones. They became explorers of the unknown. Just suppose that the mind doesn't actually know the difference between a memory and a future rehearsed with certainty. Suppose every I can't was simply a forgotten I haven't yet. Imagine this. A person once said, I'm stuck, I'm desperate, nothing works. But another version, a future version, hears that voice and replies, good. That means something must change, and I'm that change. Because isn't it curious? When you shift the meaning of an experience, the experience shifts. Doesn't it just feel true? The desperation is not a dead end, but an arrow pointing to breakthrough. Because you only feel trapped in the cage you refuse to shake. Now imagine a system rebooting. Old files, I'm powerless. Deleted. Corrupt code, I can't. Rewritten. New script installed. I'm resilient. I'm a fighter. I solve problems while others panic. I act boldly and inspire strength. Isn't that how it starts? Not with knowing, but with deciding. And even now you're unconscious. You begin to recompile reality. Let me give you examples, real, unreal, symbolic. One man lost everything and built a kingdom. One woman hit rock bottom and planted seeds in the cracks. One child was told they'd never succeed. And because they believed otherwise, they became a legend. Because belief bends the world. And somewhere in the deep recesses of thought, imagine a machine. Not a machine of metal, but of meaning. Built from presuppositions and powered by purpose. It runs on these truths. Failure is feedback. Reality is a mirror. Emotion is energy in motion. Certainty leads. Confidence follows. It processes language that commands. I must rise. I choose to act. I create opportunity from urgency. It spins chaos into clarity, confusion into creativity, pressure into progress. You're that machine. Every time you doubted yourself, was a rehearsal for confidence. Every moment of panic was a preview of passion ready to be harnessed. And right now, something deep within you is being reminded that resilience is a skill, confidence is a choice, and success is simply persistence over time. Let's reinforce. Desperation means I care. Caring means I'm alive. And being alive means I create. So many people freeze in fear, but not you. Because your system is being rewritten. With every beat of your heart, it installs deeper. Belief. I transform adversity into action. Behavior. I act with precision and boldness. Identity. I'm a master of momentum. And the more you hear these words, the more they stop being words and start being who you are. You, in a week, in a month, in a year, calm, capable, radiant. Responding to crises with creativity. Feeling emotions and choosing how to act. speaking from power, walking into rooms with the certainty of someone who knows who they are. I don't need permission to succeed. I don't ask if I can. I show that I will. Every challenge refines me. And when others see you, they won't see the desperation that once lived here. They'll see the leader that it became. Because desperation was never your enemy. It was your beginning. And beginnings are sacred. Now as you begin to forget what you used to believe, and remember what you've always known, notice how certain ideas, they feel like home. The energy attracts results. The laughter creates connection. That mystery breeds desire. The presence heals. That truth persuades. That fear can fuel. That now is all there ever is. Because belief isn't just what you hold. Belief is what holds you. And your beliefs have just changed. What happens next? Well, that's the exciting part. Because you're no longer waiting, you're becoming.